Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Play a Little Tyranny. Tyranny is the latest RPG to come out of Obsidian Entertainment, the same company who brought us the excellent Pillars of Eternity, and from some of the same people who brought us games like Baldur's Gate, for example. In Tyranny, the big setup is that evil has completely conquered the world. There's this giant evil overlord that, I don't know, from beyond the veil. I have no idea what the full scope of the story is at this point because I haven't played the game, but he has gone and conquered the world, and you are one of his archons. You are part of Team Evil here, and your job is going to be to enforce the will of the evil overlord Kairos over here. I don't know where the game goes in the future. I have no idea if you like eventually overthrow things or you're just evil all the way, but the theme is evil, 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 evil. If you have played Pillars of Eternity, a lot of the combat mechanics are going to feel really similar to things. Most of the stat systems work the same way. I think they've tweaked a couple of things here and there, but ultimately very similar, and that makes me very happy because I was a big fan of the game mechanics from Pillars of Eternity. If I recall, at the time, I might have been a little, especially early in the game, it felt like the itemization was a little bit uninspiring, but the actual mechanics I felt were very, very strong. And of course, things get better as you go along. I haven't played much. I've literally just sort of rolled the character and just fiddled around with the first couple encounters to try to get a feel for the interface, and that's about it. Basically going into this blind. This is not going to be a full Let's Play of the game in any way whatsoever. Probably I'll do 2 or 3 episodes, just cover the initial starting area. Obviously, that's still going to mean some spoilers, but you know, we're not going to get that far into the game. So let's go ahead and make a character, and we've got a couple of genders to go through, and a couple of different body types that we have as options here. Really tall, skinny dude, quite burly and thick guy over here. And then we do have, like, super fit dude over here. A lot of times in these games, I do end up playing Spellcaster. In my last couple of RPG runs of things like Path of Exile, or sorry, Pillars of Eternity and Baldur's Gate, I was playing Spellcaster. So I'm thinking of going like a fighter type. So let's go with that. We've got a little bit of difference here. I'm not going to spend too much time doing the character setup because other people like Day9 have spent much time working on the character. But we do have some options. We can choose a portrait. I don't know. It's like if you've got a portrait, like make us pick the portrait first, and then I'll go and like make my person look like that, I suppose. Let's make our guy sort of look like this if we can. We've got different hairstyles. Because I like it when the portrait matches the in-game character. Well, we don't have anyone with, like, the shaved sides. Well, that's fun. I'm not going to go with, like, mohawk or anything like that. It's bald? No. I guess, oh, no, I'll just take, like, some hair. That's going to be fine. Give him sort of a reddish hair. That's good. And then, do we have a big kick-ass beard? With the stash? Oh, you know what? I kind of like that with the little gray bit. Maybe can I go back, do something, I don't know, something more like that, and maybe we'll just put a helmet in his portrait. Is there another one with a helmet? Cover his face up. You know what? I'll just go with this. It's going to be fine. Because I do want to go with the warrior type thing. We've got some voices to choose from. I think we'll go male noble.
Moving cautiously.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Alright, that is going to be us, and I joined because I was a pit fighter. I was the best gladiator that there was. I killed everyone, and they were so impressed that they decided to recruit me for the military over here. I'm going to be in the elite branch of the military. Is that. So there are a few different options. These are going to affect your background, some of the story things. I don't believe this affects your stats right away. I think it's mostly going to be the next page over here where you choose your primary expertise. And when I went and picked soldier before, I had the same choice. Just out of curiosity, if I went War Mage and then went here, yeah, the same choices present themselves. So I'm going to go Pit Fighter, and I want to use big two-handed swords. So I'm going to pick Great Sword as my specialty. You can see here what it does is it will give us a baseline higher two-handed weapon attack, parry, and athletics. Does let us choose from 1 or 2 skills to start off with as well. Sunder, which does 1.5 times the primary weapon damage, as well as sunders them, which I believe breaks their armor for a while. Or we can take a cleave, which does less damage but has a cone splash. I think I'm just going to go for sunder. Single target damage is going to be okay. We then have to choose our secondary expertise. We could choose to back ourselves up with spells as well. If I grab a vigor spell over here and scroll down, you can see that it would affect some of my spells here and there a little bit. Give me some lore, which is important for casting spells from scrolls, or actually spell crafting, which is actually going to be a really exciting system in here. But I think it might be better for us to just min-max by, say, also grabbing War Mace over here. I don't particularly need the second weapon, but this will also give me cleave, and more importantly, it will just give me even more two-handed weapon stats, which seems like I'm just going to focus on that early on, and as we level up, we can put our points in somewhere. But I think I'm going to like this start. So we'll go next. What do we got? We got to choose our banner. Look at that. Get to make a little bit of a flag here. I do use swords, not two cross swords, though. They're like a good single sword, something that feels kind of badass that way. You know what? Fine. The two cross swords is going to be fine. At least there's no shield. We can choose our banner color. I don't know. I kind of like the gold on blue, actually. It's quite funky. And can I make my armor match as well? So if I go with the dark blue over here and pair that maybe with is this more gold? You know what? That looks kind of dumb. Black pants. Dark blue. I'm not sure what I want. I think it's just too vibrantly colored is what's going on here. Maybe just black on black. There we go. I mean, we're Team Evil. Black on black, that sounds fine. We are the Gladiator, so we're going to be Quillicus Maximus. And then we can spend 8 more points on our attributes. They do suggest that we use Might and Resolve. And in the same, this is the same combat system as far as I can tell, or mostly the same combat system as Pillars of Eternity. All the stats really do come into play a surprising amount. Although it's worth noting, I don't think there's no intellect here, and in Path of or Pillars of Eternity there was. So a couple of things have tuned a little bit. Might increases overall damage. Yeah, no, you know, it's actually is quite a bit different. So we'll certainly put some points in there so we just smash harder. Resolve is going to give us defense against a few different things. I believe. I don't know if it'll also affect our ability to shrug off certain, yeah, that's interesting. In Pillars of Eternity, something like Resolve would defend against people trying to disarm you or trip you or something like that. Primary attribute used to derive the Endurance, Will, and Magic defense. Well, Endurance does sound pretty important. I'm actually wondering about a little bit more Vitality as well for bonus health. Quickness lets us use our stuff more often, which I do quite like. And Finesse is precision, accuracy attacks, increasing Worn Armor's chance to reduce a hit type. Here, let's go 1 and 1, something like that. It's fine. We'll just spread out the points. And then we've got some skill points we can keep adding. We can go up to 50 points at this point of the game. I'm tempted to just max out the two-handed weapon right now, which seems okay. And then I'm going to put, you know what? Let me pull this back to like 45 and put the athletics up to 40. Athletics does help with a lot of things, including using it in dialogue to intimidate people, which seems a lot of fun. And then it also says physically empower someone. There's probably going to be a few things where athletics come into play. So we're going to go with that. So we're not a particularly, you know, we're a very direct character is what we have. But there are a lot of other really nice skills. Again, lore helps you. There's this conversation stuff, but also lets you cast spells from scrolls and do various things like that, which is a lot of fun. So, I think we're just going to go, and how do we want to continue? So if you go with the conquest mode, what it's going to do, it's actually going to ask you basically a series of questions and describe to you the invasion. The choices you make there will affect a lot of things about the world. For the sake of just showing the game off a little bit more, I'm going to go straight into quick start, but the conquest is actually supremely cool. So instead, we're going to take just a quick start. We're going to be on the disfavored side, and it does tell you what choices your character would have made in this situation. Basically, there's 2 major armies, part of Team Evil, in the area that we're operating in. The Scarlet Chorus involves, it's a larger sort of horde-style army, and when they conquer an area, they force people to either like join them or die. Whereas this disfavored path are like super elite soldiers, very, very small team, but quite a bit better trained, and I think that fits our backstory a lot more. So we're going to go ahead and just take that, and then go into the game itself and see how that feels. Oh, you can queue up commands with Shift. That's actually quite good to know. I don't think I was aware of that. I wonder if that was in Pillars of Eternity. So this weeping statue, we're going to see this again really, really quickly into the start. So load this in because I hadn't preloaded the game, and because I am on an HDD as opposed to an SSD. It might be a little slow, but not that slow.
Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The 2 armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault.
Damn terrorists.
With their main forces spread across the tiers, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
And there we have it. Now we're in the game. This is the 3D engine with some really interesting shader effects going on here. It gives it a really neat... I don't know. Like, the same thing was going on with the character and the character creation screen. It doesn't look cel-shaded exactly. I don't know how to describe it, but it is really quite lovely. So we've got a little tutorial that can pop up in the top right corner over here if we've got to do that. Here's my character. I can move around, but we've got someone to talk to right away, so let's go ahead and have a little chat over here with Aurora. Kairos, the Overlord, be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. The disfavored warrior claps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of her legion. So yeah, you can mouse over these things, get some extra details. You can even right-click for even more information about different characters and topics, which is great. This is Aurora over here. She's part of the disfavored, and if I mouse over, I can see the current status of favor or wrath that this particular legion has in relation to me. And right now, we do start off kind of neutral. But we've gained some favor with the disfavored from arriving here, and you can see we're 41% of the way to Tier 1. So the commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lethian's Crossing would be coming. I guess that's me. Woohoo! But since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices of Narat. She catches herself, clearing her throat with a smile. I mean, mediate with the Archon, so that we might agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. So the voices of Narat, despite the plural, is a single person, and I believe the person who runs the, what are they called? The Scarlet Chorus, so the other people, not the disfavored, but the other of the evil Overlord's armies. But on a personal note, it's good to see another Harbinger. Barely 10,000 disfavored, Okay. No, conquest decision. Those who took part in the daring pre-war raids refer to each other affectionately as a Harbinger. Ah, okay. By Kairos' will, most of our old invasion force still lives, but most of us have been scattered across the tiers, re-signed as needs change. I miss those days, when there was so much battle ahead of us, so much glory still to be won. But I know the Archons are expecting you. Don't let me wax nostalgically about the old days. So I could glare silently. I could say, I'm in a hurry to deliver a message to the Archons. I could say, I'm bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. Or, because I have lore 20, I can use this. I think there's an option where you can, maybe it's already on, where you can actually see any option that you may not have the stats for, which is always kind of like frustrating, but also nice to know that there's more stuff. So I can say, can you hear that hum in the air, that glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kairos' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley. Well, since it's a skill-based one, I'm going to go ahead and use it because, I don't know, tend to do that. Oh, I gain even more lore skill experience for doing one of those. Nice. Your senses are more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things, but if that was Kairos' magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisted bones? Yeah, see, she thinks the edict is targeting our enemies, but it actually targets us. I come bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. I like how glare silently just keeps being an option. I wonder if, like, you can do a playthrough where all you do is glare. The edict is level against us? Her eyes widen with fear. Her posture slackens. Actually, it does change even over here. I guess indicating the reaction. That's quite cool. But the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of us? She clears her throat with a sigh. Forgive me, it's not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in the valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. If we all follow Kairos' will and stop the insurrection, no harm will come to any of us. I could glare silently. 2 Archons and their armies cannot take a citadel they've taken before? Of course Kairos is displeased. You can also try subterfuge. Your first instinct is to blame the Scarlet Chorus. No wonder Kairos resorts to an edict to enforce order. Ooh. Ooh. I kind of like just yelling at them. Like, come on, seriously? You're incompetent. But I could go reassuring, more leader-like at this point, you know? Just follow. I guess it comes down to what kind of person I would want to be. And do I want to be someone who's, like, really loyal to the evil overlord, or do I want to be something else? And I'm not sure. I'm just going to glare silently. Aurora eases back from you ever so slightly. I gather I'm not required to know such things. She studies your face, smiling nervously as she fails to discern your signals. Or I'll learn things when it's time for me to know. You know what? Forget I asked. Okay. Well, you've traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons want to hear from you at... Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward with alarm. Did you hear that? So did I change any... Oh, even more favored. Slightly wrathful, but mostly favored. All right. More runners, 3rd time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. She points over to the collapsed path by which you arrived, but they're a bit too late for that now. Come on, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Alright, so we're going to go into our first combat. Boom, boom, boom. And, yeah, it's pausable real-time combat is what's going on over here. So, the game is paused right now, and you can, in the options, really tweak the auto-pause rules. I have it just set to pause when I spot an enemy, and I think that'll be probably sufficient, but sometimes what you might want to do is something like party member finishes ability. So every time someone in your party finishes doing something, it'll pause to let you queue up something else. There's also a AI settings, which is right over here. It's worth noting that Aurora is not in my party, but when we do get people added to the party, I can decide whether I'm running AI or not, whether I want to manually control everyone. Even if I turn on the AI, I can queue up specific orders for people, despite the AI settings. You can also right-click and choose your people and decide what kind of different behavior that they might have. And I think for these kinds of games, especially if you're playing on the higher difficulties, you really have to micromanage everyone. But on the lower difficulties, like where I am now, you can usually get away with just automating the AI most of the time. And I kind of like that. I'm mostly just like, you know, controlling my main character. Anyway, we've got that. We've got some abilities over here. There's Thrust, which is, I think, just my baseline. No, it still has a 19-second cooldown. So as we started with that, does slashing or piercing damage, 1.5 times primary weapon. We've still got the Sunder, which breaks the armor, which sounds pretty good. We've got the Cleave that we got when we got the second thing. And actually... especially if I move the camera here, you can actually see the arc of the Cleave, which is quite handy. You see the range of these attacks, the arc of the Cleave. And I've also got Warrior's Respite. I can use it once per encounter, and for 12 seconds, it cuts damage in half and heals me. So there we go. There's a good way to bounce back from combat. I also have some endurance potions over here, some health potions over here. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with just the Sunder over here, and I'm going to go and Sunder the bad guy over there. What I like is you can, you got the little character sheet that pops up. You can always right-click and lock them in there, so we can take a look at this guy's stats. Dodge chance, parry chance, endurance defense, will defense, and so on. You can sort of tune your attacks based on what's going on there. So I'll just unpause, and my character will run over there, draw his sword, and perform an attack. After doing the attack, you can see that blue circle that's going to start counting down. That's the recover period. That's actually one of the other really excellent mechanics that the... This game system, again, the variant, they introduced this in Pillars of Eternity first, but that recovery period is the real thing that you can sort of tune and everything. That's your cooldown kind of between attacks. And some things have sort of a wind-up, but mostly it's this recovery period that you affect through all kinds of things, including, say, your gear over here. You can see that my armor that I'm wearing adds 0.8 seconds of recovery time. The heavier the armor, the longer the recovery time. So, you know, heavy armor is really good for defenses, but... it does make it a lot harder for you to keep attacking. So we should be able to finish this guy off. He's nearly dead. I guess maybe I could have set up the Cleave. Cleave does less damage, though, actually, so it's not worth using the Cleave when we are not...
Sorry, I can't.
Oh, did we get a critical hit? When we're on a single target. There we go. So one down. Let's check further down the path. Game does note, if I hold tab, it'll show me things that I can interact with. These are just information markers. So the path behind me is blocked. Here you've got some desiccated corpses lining the road of victory. And the crying statue over here, which used to weep water, but now is just weeping blood. Oh, and I can loot the body over here. What do you have? You have a whetstone and a potion of protection. Now, I could just put that in the stash. Whether I put it in the stash or not, I can, because you can in normal combat mode, in normal game mode, you can access the stash sort of on the fly over here. So this is the all equipment. Oh, all equipment, and it distinguishes out the edict over here. So we've got some extra potions there, which is good. Fatebinder seal, +2 resolve. Yeah. So can I equip this? Oh, I can. Nice. Okay, we'll grab that. Apparently, I also started with some magic boots over here. Only Quillicus can equip this. And if you mouse over, you can see the difference. If I equip this, I'll get more deflection. It'll actually reduce the recovery timer, as well as give me a disengagement defense. So that sounds pretty awesome. And potion of protection. What I can do with this is put the potion of protection and the whetstone on my quick items. And both of them last for 5 minutes, and either give me the ability to ignore armor or penetrate armor with my weapons, or in fact give myself more armor, and of course I can stack them if I want. So here we've got some rocks blocking the way here. Think you could fit through the rubble? Well, I can probably just squeeze through the gap. There might be, maybe you take damage doing that, but more importantly, I can move the boulder because I have enough athletics, and in fact, I think that's going to roll over this person. So we're engaging in combat, which is why the game paused. I'm just going to run forward. There we go, that was pretty effective. These guys are maybe nicely positioned for a cleave. Can't target just the ground, huh? But presumably if I target you...
I can't.
No, it's actually only going to hit one person. I may have needed to position it slightly differently. Move there. And then... Oh, there we go. Oh, I target within range as opposed to clicking on a person. Okay, so it didn't actually go last time. I think this might do friendly fire, but, you know. Tough. I'm evil. I don't care about friendly fire. Slice. Okay, it only hit the bad guys. So that's good. I'm going to go and sunder the armor of the person at the bottom here. And then I guess I will also shift-click a thrust, although I've already meant, so I didn't use the shift-click. Wounded. Well, I just realized that this person is actually attacking the person at the top, so I probably should have focused fire, but that's okay. Ooh, we can do another thrust here. Maybe we never did. Nope, there we go.
Will do.
Get that one. Excellent. And I'll just use the Sunder because I may as well, because it does do more damage. It's not like it costs me any resources to use that. So one more attack. Would be nice to be quicker, but I guess it'll do. I like how you get all the stats over here. You can also mouse over and get a massive breakdown of exactly why everything happened, which I think is very important, you know? No mysteries going on over here. We get all the information that we need. I'm going to loot the body before I talk to anyone. What do you got? Sun Soldier's Javelin. Melee or ranged. I think I'm going to keep going with my two-handed sword here. I'd lose DPS. On the other hand, I would get armor penetration and reduced recovery. It's a much faster weapon. But I'm going to go with this. Talk to the stone shield over here. Don't bother with me. Go down to the path. Dastris... ... Soldier clutches his gut and winces. You can see a hint of entrails between his fingers. You're wounded, and it's not trivial. Laughs through clenched teeth. This, but a scratch. I've seen twice as worse 10 times over. Doubles over in pain, gagging and shivering. Well, you keep hold of your guts then. Farewell. He releases his wound to flash you a pain salute. Hail Kairos.
I got it.
Team Evil. Woo! And some more lootable over here. We got a mushroom. Oh yeah, this is interesting. You have to eat this first. It lasts for 2 minutes, but if you get knocked down, then you get up again. It's the... Never mind.
Can't do that.
So, oh, I can take a look at more of these. Several skulls, bleached by the sun, picked clean by carrion birds, or spiked on a roughly hewn post. Oop. It is the only heraldry the Scarlet Chorus needs. Oh, things seem to be going badly over there.
Catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countryman. This one's crazy! Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Fatebinder. Here at last. Care to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery?
She nods to the armed soldiers bearing down on her. Yeah, I'll join the battle. Save something for me! For the realm of Apex, charge! The Vendrian Guard level their weapons and advance. So, it's worth noting that Verse, this character over here, has now joined my party. So I do have 2 party members. I can individually give them commands. Currently, they're both selected. I'd much rather still probably just drive myself. But what's kind of neat is they've added these combo abilities in here. So Quillicus and Verse can do this move called Blood Soaks Stone once per encounter. Coordinate with Verse to knock your target prone, then follow it with a strong bleeding attack. And actually, it's on my toolbar by default. So that sounds pretty good. We'll go ahead. One of these is wounded. They're both sort of slightly hurt. We'll Blood Soak Stone, I guess this one over here. Yes, I know. I just explained about companions. Come on, game. I'm way ahead of you.
Flawless.
So, she knocks him down, and it looks like I pulled out a dagger or something like that to stab him onto the ground. So that sounds pretty good. Also seems like this is a good opportunity for us to go and use our cleave again over here. So we'll do that. She is taking a fair amount of damage. Did I use it? No, I didn't. I must not have clicked it right. Well, you know what? He's dead anyway, so we'll just go ahead and sunder this one then. And then we'll talk about her abilities. I mean, I could be using her abilities right now. Excellent. Go ahead and do that.
They won't even get close.
Ooh, she's wounded. She has taken a wound. Whoa, Gibbs. Excellent.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with
I'm
satisfaction.
Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian Guard we killed didn't come alone.
She gestures to the skirmish unfolding the battle below. We can get some information. Why are they attacking now?
Guess. The Vendrian Guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That, or they're really, really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
You fight like the Storm. What's your role in the army?
A Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed. Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
So, I mean, we can get more explanation. Well, I guess we'll do this one.
The voices of Nerat told me to intercept you at Edgering Ruins before you busied yourself solving all of the camp's problems. Guess I was too late. You're due for a meeting with the Archons, but we should handle the small matter of this ambush first.
Right, so we could tell her to go ahead to the Scarlet Chorus camp, and we could keep soloing. But no, we'll go ahead and we'll join the battle. I'm ready if you're ready.
I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Honor a fallen. No, we're Team Evil. See your point. Nice and
No
practical.
reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes.
So yes, we did gain loyalty. We are 40% of the way towards loyalty tier 1 with Verse, as opposed to Fear. Now, this seems to be her individual reputation, or our individual reputation with her, as opposed to one of the faction ones here. This is with her personally.
For the voices of Nerat!
Verse furrows her bow and focuses down on the battle to come. Alright, so we've got a party. She did indeed get actually injured. She's wounded, in fact. Her hit points or her health here will bounce back, but that's a whole nother thing. Where does it actually show her wounds properly? Let's speak with her, which is fine. There we go, yeah. So her max health is capped down. So she's taking a significant damage in combat. There's an option you can make so you only get wounds if you actually get, like, sort of knocked down properly. Like, if you run out of health in combat, it doesn't kill you normally. And when you bounce back up, you get a wound. But here we're on the mode where you can get wounds in combat. Not entirely sure about all the mechanics because they may differ a little bit from Pillars of Eternity, but that's okay. Worth noting that Verse also has battle stances currently because she took damage in that fight. She got low health. She switched to her 3 Whispers. She's also got the Red Geyser stance, which lowers her dodge chance, but increases bonus damage all the time. Also reduces her parry. And then there's her Seeking Sheath stance, which gives her increased accuracy. We can tune her AI quite a bit more here. So basically how she responds to foes. I'll keep Defend Party on here. That seems fine. I think if you go aggressive, there's a chance she'll just run off, you know, to enemies in the distance. So Defend Party might be the safest. And I'm going to encourage her to... I wonder if she's got a bow. We might actually get her to go Archer thing, but I'll tell her to go Blade Dancer, and it'll, you know, tune. So she's going to switch between Red Geyser and Seeking Sheath stance at high health, and 3 Whispers is low, which is probably the default, but I know. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that's explicit. That's totally okay, and I'm mostly going to keep just using myself. We do have some bodies to loot over here. We've got some fresh new boots. Oh, that's my current... Sorry, it's over here. A helmet, which does appear to be an upgrade. More health potions, and we got some sigils over here. Sigils, which you can use to craft spells. So this is the spell crafting screen, which is awesome. What you do is you pick a core, and then you pick an expression for it. So if I had started as a spellcaster, I'd actually have a bunch of these known. So a core could be something like fire. An expression could be something like something about range, so you can make a fireball that way. You'll eventually unlock accents as well. So you need high enough lore to be able to use those spells, which you slot in over here, and you also need to have discovered the cores. And again, if I'd started as a spellcaster, I would know certain cores and expressions to start off with, but we're not quite there yet. I mean, let's take a look at the loot. Did I want to equip this helmet? That looks like a yes. I'm going to do that. I don't suppose... Do you have a helmet over here? You don't. Putting it on actually would give you a boost to accuracy. It would increase recovery time, which isn't great, but also gives deflection. I think it's probably a good idea to do that. But you know what? We're going to hide the helmet because I quite like that. And maybe I'll hide the helmet for myself as well. Yeah. All right. Good. Groovy. Excellent. And yeah, this is the Lesser Sigil of Reaching Grasp. Contains a magical accent which slightly increases the range of a spell. But I don't have enough lore to use that because that's 35. Okay, so we're going to move up. That's going to be fine. And oh, actually, we move down to here, and then we'll get into another fight. There we are. Eyes forward, no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falx held high. So presumably some kind of weapon. Agrarian Scythe. Oh, okay. His words largely lost over the din of combat. Stand aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. So the guy who's talking here, Tarkus Demos, must be the boss of these dudes. I applaud your bravery, but I implore you to end this foolishness, lay down your arms, or... No. There is no escape, and for Oathbreakers, no surrender. Then we'll settle this with bronze. The warrior points towards you, ordering his men to advance. These fools don't know when to stop. I like that. Charge! As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet Chorus reinforcements. Hurry! Yep, indeed. So it looks like they're splitting up a bit. Oh, I can see the sides. Yeah. So the curved blades here. Good for, like, mowing down wheat and things like that. Or enemy soldiers, I suppose. So this is Mocking Blaze over here talking. Run down the Oathbreakers. Let none escape. From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Hold position, all of you! You there, keep to the path! The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No, don't engage them, we need to run! His orders falling on deaf ears, the warrior reluctantly readies his weapon. And now we fight. So I think I'm definitely going to want to start off with the combo move against this leader here. Knock him down a bit, get him bleeding, and get that going on. You can see the percentage chance, I believe, of successfully doing that over there, which is quite nice. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and unpause. I could use some consumables, but that's okay. Yes, I know about companion combos. I've been using them already, but, you know. Excellent. Knocked prone. I'm going to let her keep doing her thing. What I think I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to sunder this guy's armor. Excellent. And then I think I'm just going to wait for the recovery. Oh, interesting choice of movement. I was going to set up for a cleave. Oh, this is probably going to disengage me, so I can't move. Oh, looks like I can hit all three with a cleave if I aim it this way, though. So that's quite good. Bam! Excellent. And go and whack this guy in the back. Nice. Keep attacking. Finish off their leader. Especially since he's on verse. She's not quite as tanky as I am. She took another wound there. Now, I could have had her withdraw. She's probably in her defensive stance. Oh, no, she's not, actually. That's surprising. I guess you're not being targeted right now, but still, you should switch to your 3 Whispers stance. There we go.
They never had a chance.
Oh, who's this? Crescent Runner. Oh, he's from the Disfavored, my faction. Come quick, we have a situation on Cliffside. They have the commander! Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a moment to loot here, if you don't mind, but I'll be right there, otherwise. Oh, nothing to loot from the main dudes over here. That's too bad. Well, we have Blood Moss, bonus defense against bleeding attacks and immunity to bleeding, a broken helmet, and an upgraded weapon. Nice. So broken helmet can be sold to a merchant as spare parts. Okay, so it's just currency basically. It's just trash. But it looks like we're gonna want to go and upgrade to this weapon for more DPS and more accuracy. Sounds good to me. Oh, down here. Right, and I do have the secondary weapon as well, but we're gonna leave that be for now. All right, anything else? Oh, a lootable box way back here with some cheese and a head wrap. Has short recovery time, but I think we'll leave it be. So every blade shows signs of rust, and every piece of armor is in need of repair. More bleached skulls, and we've got a tent over here. The symbol of Scarlet Chorus is smeared in blood on the tattered cloth tent. No effort has been made to repair the gaping tears. Went way too fast. And then more weapons. Oh, there's something else we can loot over here. May as well get all the things. Skycap. Plus 10 to lore for 2 minutes. Plus 10 to all magic skills. Plus 4 to wit. So I think what we're going to do is with Verse here, we should make sure that on her quick slots, okay, she's got potions. What else has she got here? Rot Spear. It gives her the Enraged Affliction, but it also gives her Might. And we've got Scarlet Poison. So you use it, and then for the next 5 minutes, when you crit, it will poison the enemy. I kind of like that mechanic, actually. I think what we're going to do, though, is I'm going to go and take my Potion of Protection and put on our quick bar, and we may consider using that next combat, since she has taken another wound, and again, her max HP dropped a little bit more. We could also rest, but it seems a little early. Oh, who do we have over here? First of all, loot. Agate for money. Heavy bronze greaves, which... she's got her custom boots right now. Yeah, no, we'll just go with that for now. Hello! What are you doing? You'll draw attention to me. Okay. Smack you around here. Looks like we're fighting again. Pelox Tyrell. So he's one of the Vendrians. Yeah. So that must be him. Stow your weapons, or we'll find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Skewer him. Worry not for me. Graven Ash will protect. So Graven Ash is like their god of the dead or something like that. So he's saying like, no, don't worry about it. This favored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. You heard this, man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? Whoa, dude. This blade, with a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus' matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Well, I'm evil, so I don't necessarily care about his life that much. Although, you know, you don't just throw people away. That's wasteful. So I can say, release the prisoner and you might know the inside of a cell. I can use my athletics to lower my weapon, then charge forward and wrest the knife from him. Or I could just plain out attack. Or, you know, you heard Drastus, let him die. So I would be inclined to just say, you know, whatever, just let him die, who cares? But I'm going to see if I can't, like, do this. If it fails and this guy dies, oh well, it's not the end of the world, but let's see if we can go and wrest the knife out. Plus, we can, you know, he'll owe us a favor. So actually gain favor with a couple of people, so that's good, and some experience. The Oathbreaker cracks a wide smile as you lower your weapon. That's right, now the rest of you drop those weapons. With his attention on the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches out with his dagger to slay Drastus, but your hand is already on the wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained gasp before being hacked and impaled on their swords and spears. Haha. Gotcha. Kairos be praised. The Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Cairn himself. Drastus slides a trembling hand along the cut on his neck. Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was my last. From the looks of it, so we already have someone that we saved, you know? They are pretty good over at Obsidian to make a game where there's consequences and your choices have meanings, and I like that. From the look of it, guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might take it out. We found a few scraps of parchments on the bodies. Drastus holds out a handful of crumpled parchment for inspection. Literacy is rare in the Northern Empire, where the disfavored are born and trained. Time spent reading and writing is, after all, time not spent sparring and readying one's body and mind for battle. Warriors do not read books. A student of letters such as yourself should be able to make sense of this. No time for that. All that training in Graven Ash doesn't teach you to read. You know what? I'm just going to be a little stoic here. I'm just going to examine the parchment. Repeating, because, you know, I'm evil, but I don't think just randomly belittling people, right? It's about a pragmatic version of evil. Is what I'm going for here. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explains the Vendrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kairos' Archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the Younger Realms to gather at Vendrian's Well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to the fight. Yeah, let's do that. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails downslope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it. Okay. Oh, and we can loot this dude, so we will do that. Because pragmatic evil. What do you got? What is this? Quick finger bangles. Gives haste? What? Oh, +1 quickness. Ooh. And another one of these falxes. As well as another scroll. Okay, so, this bangle, I'm going to give it to her with the quickness. That sounds pretty useful. And, yeah, we still don't have any lore. We got to find someone. Oh, actually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 35 and 30, but I still don't have enough for that, unfortunately. We'll have to find ourselves a wizard at some point. All right, well, let's move up the hill. Oops, I thought I grabbed everyone. My bad. I guess we can climb up here. Climb the rope. You see an old broken section of the wall. There's a rope hanging down that has recently been used to scale it. Actually, don't even know if that's where we're supposed to go. No, just found a hidden thingy. A potion of invisibility, 60 seconds. Well, that sounds useful. Okay, that's it? All right, climb back down. Right, so where am I going? Oh, down here, I bet.
Sorry,
No.
I can't.
This should be the Archon demands all prisoners be given a chance to serve the chorus. Oh, we're having that old debate. These lying horse spawn have had their chances long ago. I say kill them. So, yeah, I'm going to go inside with the disfavored here. Prisoner says his name is Tarkus Demos. Drastus lets out a long sigh, tapping his gauntleted finger to his temple. Then I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family's been a driving force in the Vendrian Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever's left of Tarkus clan. But Mockingblade Blaze says all must be given a chance to find absolution in service of the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points a finger at the disfavored officer. And you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. We'd let you take prisoners, but we can't control them. You can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol and they never return, defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. Well, I insist this Oathbreaker be taken to the voices of Nerat, leaving us at an impasse. Unfortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. The Chanter turns to you, an expectant smile creeping across her face. So, what say you? What should become of this prisoner? So we could execute the Oathbreaker. One chance to surrender is enough. Or the chorus should be allowed its chance to recruit no warriors. That's true. So these guys have... They're 2 years ago, they signed a peace treaty. And they have broken it. And to me, if they are willing to do that once, they'll probably betray us again. Execute them. So we got Wrath of the Scarlet Chorus, but favor with its disfavored. The Tearsmen can't be trusted. Rakes, thieves, and whores, nothing more. We were far too merciful the first time. Drastus nods to a nearby warrior. Have this one tied up. He and his friends can watch each other rot in the sun. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebounder. I know you have important business in the valley. Drasus salutes you, his iron gauntlet rapping against his breastplate. For the glory of Kairos! Well, on that note, we will go and put a cut in this video. We will pick this up again in a follow-up video, and that might be it. We might just do these 2 episodes since apparently they're a little bit longer, get a bit of a sense of the game. And yeah, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.